grew up in a military family. My father was a Coast Guard officer, so Uncle Sam sent us all over the world to live, but always by the ocean. And I have seen what David meant when he wrote in Psalm 29:3, "The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord thunders over the mighty waters." It makes me wonder if David experienced riding out a storm in the Mediterranean Sea. After all, the Mediterranean is right there off the coast of Israel. Well, my father was stationed on the Aegean island of Rhodes, Greece, on a ship, the USS Courier, that would sail out into international waters to broadcast behind the Iron Curtain. And I spent my early teen years snorkeling in that crystal clear water and learning about the culture of Greece. A couple times every year we would take a trip. We would sail from Rhodes to Athens. And on one of those trips I experienced a fierce storm. Here we were sailing out, and all of a sudden this storm came about. It thundered, the lightning crashed. It was just like in Psalm 29. For 2 days that ship rocked and rolled and heaved and hoed, and oh my goodness, it was like we were a cork in that mighty ocean. I had just eaten a whole bag of chocolate chips as we were sailing out on this trip, and I think I threw up every one of them. And when I got down out of the bunk, I passed out cold. My father and the sea captain, even they were sick on this trip. Well, this experience for me was a time that I remember, maybe for the first time, really understanding the power and the might of Almighty God. That He is glorious, all-powerful, He is master over the oceans, and He wants us to worship Him in the splendor of His holiness, but also, and we see this often in the Psalms, He wants us to see His power and His might. He calls us to worship Him because He is a God who can twist the mighty cedars like a toothpick. He's mightier than the oceans, and He is able to then have power in our lives as well, so that we indeed can trust Him. I'm so grateful in verse 11. He shares with us that even in the midst of this great power, He shares that power with us, and He is kind and He is loving. And so as you go through and study this psalm and others that follow, I want you to remember who God is, that He thunders over the mighty waters, but He loves you and me.